What is going on, YouTube? We are back, and behind us is the OG Mustang that I have owned for 16 and a half years and restored with my dad when I was in high school. Now, this Mustang hides a dirty little secret. So behind me, I have a Mustang. Over here, I have two boxes. I have a welder. I have a nitrogen bottle, or not a nitrogen, an argon bottle. What on earth could be going on here? Well, my Mustang, like so many others, hides a dirty little secret, and that is underneath this cowl is some rot, and in this firewall and inner fender is some rot. That's very common for Mustangs to be rotted out in these places. I'm not upset about it. It's been like that since I bought it. I tried seam sealer when we first did it. Actually, I tried fiberglassing it when we first did it when I was 17, which wasn't a great idea. So I ripped all that out, and I put the California Pony Cars hats in there with some sealer, and that kept the water out and did a lot. And it sits in a barn anyways, so it's not exposed to the weather or salt. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fix it right. I ended up buying an entire cowl for it in that one box, just because an entire cowl was actually cheaper than just the two pieces for either side. But I'm gonna try to do this without pulling out the windshield, and I've also got a passenger torque box for it. If you didn't know, 1967 Mustangs did not come with a passenger side torque box, and you'll see more of that in a second. 68s did, but this one didn't. It used to be an 0206. It is not anymore. It is now a very rowdy 302 V8 that I like to drive very, very hard and break things. A passenger side torque box and some gussets are going to go a long way. But stick around. I am going to start this video by pulling the entire front end of this car off. I am not going to show that. I might show that. We'll see. I don't know. I got to go charge my camera though. It's almost dead. Stick around. Okay, I got one side on and the other side is off. Now, you don't have to do things the way that I do them, but what I like to do is I like to put the bolts back in the holes that they came out of kind of as I go along. Now, the annoying thing about the Mustang is you gotta kind of take all of this loose just to get the fender out. I'm leaving it on because I don't have a lot of shelf. I just got the fender sitting over there in the corner of the barn. So I'm trying to leave as many parts on the car as I can. But the annoying thing about them is you have to take the valence off, you gotta take the stone deflector off, you gotta take the grill trim out, you gotta take a lot of stuff out just to get the fender off. And now somebody's gonna say, well, you can just remove the headlight buckets from the inside. And I know that, but mine are seized in place and the screws are basically stripped, and I knew that before I even started. So I figured I might as well just take the whole fender off and get it off, and then I can try to fix that problem once the fender's off. But I've got it off, I've got it over there. I'm gonna show you a torque box. It's this thing right here. On the passenger side, you'll see that you have your outer rocker and your inner frame rail, and there's nothing to tie them together except the floor plan. So I got a new torque box for that side. Now, most of my rot is going to be right in here on the other side and along this front wall on the other side. So I'll have to get that out to fix it, and then the cowl hat is right up in here. So I'm going to try to cut this out to get down to that. So again, you don't have to do it this way. This is just the way I'm doing it. We'll see how it goes. I might change my mind later and take more of it apart. We'll see, but I got this side off, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. And the reason I didn't film all that is there's 1,000,005 videos on how to take a front fenders or the front end off a 67 Mustang, and I don't wanna waste time doing that. This video is about getting the torque box in, so let's do that. And this side is off. Let me show you the cancer and tell you what is next. So it's never as bad as it feels with your fingers blind, but there's the first little hole there. I want to get that fixed. This up in here is actually pretty nasty. I've got, see if I can sort of block the light so you can see it. Maybe not, but I've got a big hole right across here on the firewall, and it goes just about all the way up to that gusset. So I'm gonna try to cut all of this out. I'm probably gonna have to get this piece off the top. I'm gonna cut all this along here so that I can open this up and get to the hat and everything. But now I need to go ahead and get the heater core out, because the heater core sits behind all of this, and I want some room to work. I've done the heater core before. It's pretty easy. I'm just gonna take this one off, and I'm gonna loop it back over itself into here so that, you know, it's not draining coolant all over the place. And then I'll still be able to drive it because old car and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the heater core out next. And after I get the heater core out, I'm gonna use a sandblaster, and I'm gonna sandblast all this stuff because it's just so much easier than trying to work at it with a wire wheel. And this is what I was talking about, that torque box. So that torque box is gonna go right in there and tie all of the inner frame rail to the outer rocker and make all of this good and strong. Moving right along, we got the interior out. Well, we got the carpet out, which means next step, I'm gonna power wash everything and then I'm gonna start sandblasting. I'm probably gonna power wash it first, and then once it's power washed, I'll put the torque box in there and kind of make a line where it's gonna be, where I need to weld, and then I'll sandblast just what needs to be welded, because I don't really want to waste a whole bunch of sandblasting material, sandblasting the whole pocket, if I'm not going to do the whole thing. But I did buy myself a new to me power washer. It's right there. So I'm going to pull this thing out, and like I said, I'll start pressure washing everything. Everything's going pretty smooth. Everything's going pretty smooth so far. So hopefully it continues to go that. Time has passed. It tends to do that. But anyways, I have got this side ground out. That's the hole in my door. I got this sandblasted out. I started that, but the sandblaster wasn't working great, so I kind of abandoned the sandblaster. I came over here and I did this side. This is just a 180 flap disc, 180 grit flap disc on a grinder to get the doors cleaned out. It was funny, I went in the house, if you're a fan of Roseanne, I went in the house, I was telling my wife, I said, I got the front end off. I said, I started getting out some of the Bondo, and she goes, no Bondo. And I said, I promise you there is lots of Bondo, and the frame is not righteous. But that's what we're here to do. We're here to fix it. We're here to slowly but surely go through these things. I started removing the seam sealer here. I'm gonna do it on the other side, and then I'm probably gonna call it a day once I get all that done, because it's about 2:16, and I've been at it since about 9 o'clock this morning, so got a lot of work done. I did power wash the carpet too, because it was full of antifreeze. I put like little upholstery cleaner in it. So I'm gonna get this all ground out with the wire wheel on the drill, and I'll catch back up with you then. More time has passed. It's about 3 o'clock. I've got even more metal cleaned up. I got a light in here this time, so you can kind of see I started cleaning up where that torque box is gonna go. I obviously got the doors all cleaned out. I started cleaning up some of this, and you'll notice it's kind of shiny. And the reason it's kind of shiny is because I'm not going to finish this today, obviously, and I don't want it to flash rust. So I took some LPS2, WD-40, PB Blast. Any of that stuff will work. It's water displacing. But I put some LPS2 on it, on the bare metal, just to prevent it from rusting. I don't want to paint it, because I got to take all that paint back off. But if I use LPS2, it'll dry, it'll displace the water, it'll dry, and then tomorrow, when I come back, I can just hit it with some B12 Chem tools, some carb cleaner, some throttle body cleaner, something along those lines, and it'll flush all that out. And even when I'm welding, it won't cause any issue with the welds. But what I think I'm going to do is probably going to do it all for this video. So what I think I'm going to do is, next video, I'm going to cut out the doors, and I'm going to fix the doors first. It's the one part you're going to see. I've also got a hole over in the fender. I need to fix one of the fenders. But I want to do that first. I think it'll make the biggest difference in how it looks. It'll help me give me a chance to get my confidence back on a welder. It's been a little while since I've welded anything. I can do it. I took a welding class some time ago. It's just been a while since I've done it, or since I've needed to practice it. So I'll practice on the doors first. You're going to have to trigger weld those anyways. They're so thin, you can't run a bead without warping it. So you just kind of do a series of tack welds around it. But besides the point, so I'll do the doors first. Once the doors are done, I'm going to go through and fix all the rust. So these holes in the firewall, I did find another one even bigger on this side. Mustangs, they do that. So I'll fix all the holes first. Then when all the holes are fixed, then I'll finish by putting that torque box in. But I want to get all the other stuff done first. So that's going to do it all for this video. There will be a part 2 continuing rust repairs on the Mustang. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you are subscribed. Leave us a like, leave us a comment, all that good stuff. And as always, go build something and be easy.